Hello, beloved ones. How here? I am, I'm grateful to be joining you today on a Friday to have a little bit of a conversation with you. I hope you guys will join and we can start grooving together. This is our kind of entertainment, and I believe you are really adapting well, because this whole distractions, like I always say, that we are just used to. When it comes to the weekend, it's like, oh my god, where would I go? Hide, run, and all that. And now I think it's a beautiful time. I truly feel and know that it's a beautiful time. Or you can perceive it as something contracting. I don't have the freedom and all that. But freedom truly is, if it's something external, if it's dependent on something, it's not really freedom. Freedom comes from being able to be with you, and you make freedom wherever you are. And that's why today I'm talking about this interesting topic. Are you always running away from home to work because you don't want to deal with something? How is it working for you? How have you been doing it? Because there is this whole patterns that when something comes up at home, we try to find something. Either we go out with our friends and be busy and then come back, and when you come home, it's still the same situation. You are looking for the next step to distract yourself. And now we have this beautiful, amazing gift, an amazing gift indeed, that is like showing you really the priorities, which is really being at our own place and feeling safe at home, being with our family. Because as I always say, when you talk about family, most people believe that family is just where you have to sit together and just complement each other. Things have to be smoothly and all that. When we look at other people having that amazing relationship and all that, we desire that as well. Who doesn't? We all want a functional relationship. But here's the catch: we don't want to do the work. We do not want to do the work. Some of us prefer to sit in blame and finding someone to blame and complaining about life not being fair and all that, because there are some things that we don't want to do. And it's not like it's happening because you are doing it voluntarily. It's happening because you have seen it happening. When you're growing up, there are some things that you've seen happening. Like one of the things that I was just discussing, even for me, that was something that I just saw that when I grow up, I don't want to have children out of wedlock. I just want to get married once and be with my family forever, because I've seen that happening. That's what I mean. When I grew up, my mom and my dad were together, married and all that. But when I tried, I mean, I had children obviously out of wedlock, and for me, in the beginning, it was just like, oh my God, I'm a failure, that kind of thing. And then you come through, you are in a relationship. There's a lot of things that are going on, and you wonder, you've seen something, and when you come and experience, it's not exactly what you are not getting what you thought exists, and that is the catch. Because at times you get so committed to say, I want to do it like this, or I want to have this outcome as my parents or my caretakers did. And the question is, at what cost did they achieve that? And most of the time we take a lot of things that is happening around. When I look at my life as well, I didn't have that really bonding relationship with my mom. Of course, I was not an easy child. I would, like they would say, one of those they would call a rebel or stubborn or whatever. And as much as I was okay being me and not caring about what everyone said, at the end of the day, there is a part of me deep down that always wanted to belong, that was hoping that I could be one of those. And my kind of communication was kind of like totally being defensive, because I knew that I was going to be criticized, being defensive, and coming from, you're going to make me wrong, so I have to defend myself and all that. And I didn't know how to communicate in a relationship, because for me it was like, oh, you're going to attack me and all that. But deep down I was also longing for a relationship where I could be myself, which is really being authentically you. And when I say, are you running away from have you been using work as an escape route? The question is, well, what have you been doing? Because if you're at home and you cannot openly share your opinions, you cannot fully be yourself, whether it's being silly or whatever. Because I know I've got friends who they've got different versions and all that. I used to be that kind as well. When I was at work, I would be this kind of nice person, but at home, because they knew those soft spots, they triggered me a lot. Is the people that I grew up with. Immediately, I was okay with just busting out and all that, even though most of the time I would try to like take it, and then at some point I just let it out. And when I was interacting with other people, I was always scared. Is this part of me really going to come out? I didn't want that aspect to really show up that is kind of defensive. So I found myself in a situation where it was like I was being called to speak up, even in relationships, even at work, where I felt like even like everything is just happening to me, like this victim consciousness or victimhood was just coming through so strongly. Because at times when you don't deal with our stuff, whether it's at home, like I said, I was being criticized a lot by my mom. I ended up having a boss who also criticized me just like my mom did. I got into relationship with different people, but they had one trait. They just treated me like my mom did, which was really being criticized. I never really felt confident to be myself. And at some point I felt that way. Things seemed okay on the surface, and I just loved how people believed this way, but deep down I knew that I'm struggling to be myself. And I just wondered, at what cost do people really have this foreverness? Does it come at the cost of my freedom? Do I have to pretend to be someone so that I can fit in that kind of vision and whatever that they perceive things has to be? What about what I want? What about my opinions? What about my own, what I perceive as joy? Like, for instance, I was once in a relationship where we thought about things like spirituality, the existence of God or not. I mean, for me, that is who I am. I'm a spirit, and it's not only that it was something that was coming up in this relationship, it was something that was coming up in many friendships and whatever that I had when I was a child. So now imagine when you try to run away from home and you go either have a partner or marry, but still you are not able to be yourself. You're afraid to be vulnerable because it's going to be used against you. You're going to be perceived as weak. So we wear this mask of being strong and all that. And then the only opportunity that you have to be yourself is when you run away from home and you are somewhere else. Whenever there is something that comes up, it's like, oh my God, I can't deal with this. I have to get away. And now you find yourself in that situation where you have to be with everyone, whether it's your parents, whether it's your partner or your wife, your husband. The question is, who is showing up? Are you showing up as that kind of mask? And for how long? Because with this period, however it's happening, it's just like you can pretend for 2 days or 3 days, whether it's pretending to be happy. Eventually, you're just gonna lose it, and then it's gonna be like, oh, I don't know this part of you. Have you ever had that? Because I've had that a lot, where someone is just like, I was called a fake, because my family knew the other side of me. When I was with other people, they knew the other side of me. And it was like, oh, you've got two different sides of you. And I was not happy with it because I had to try so hard when I was with other people to try and fit in, And at home, I also didn't truly feel that I was fitting in because I had my own way of thinking and of being, which really did not fit the whole thing at home. Like, for instance, the one word or line that my mom used a lot is like, "You are not like my children. You're just stubborn, you're just a rebel," and all that. And as much as that was painful for the little girl that I was, the truth is that, yes, I was not like them. I mean, I used to say that to say, yeah, I'm not like them. This is why I even have a different name, Unfortunately, I could not be a version of my sisters or brothers. I could only show up as me. That's just me. And this me, because it was made so wrong, it was beaten up so many times and made so wrong, I could not fully show up even when I went out, whether it was at work or whether it was in relationships. And guess what? By not showing up as fully me, I still got that criticism and all that, because they were getting the energy. We talk about, oh, I am feeling confident, I am worthy, and all the nonsense, or you can show up and do an amazing presentation at work, and then when you get home, you become like a little child who cannot even voice that opinion. That's I mean, what is that really? Or you are a bully at home, and then when you get at work, you are showing up this kind of version of a nice person and all that. I mean, do you really live with yourself when you're trying to switch this personality on, that personality off, and all that? It's not the way to live your life, because now when that work is taken away from you, it's like you are a stranger in your own home. You feel completely lost, you're just angry, you can't wait for this period to be over. Instead of you coming home, this is why you are sent home, to say, stay home and be safe, protect yourself and your family. But yet you are there, it's just the physical body that is there, your emotion is somewhere else. For how long are you willing to live that life? Because we might dismiss the energetic part of us, but it's as equally important as our physical world, as that which we see with our eyes. And I can imagine, what I was just thinking is that, imagine if you have a cut, whether it's with a knife, just an open wound, and when it's there, you look on the other side, and you don't want to see that. Like, can we just really look on the other side and say, I don't want to see that cut, and I'll pretend that it hasn't happened and continue bleeding? No, you are bleeding, and you're gonna look at it and you're gonna take action. Either go to the doctor, get it stitched or whatever. You're gonna do something. And we don't do the same with our emotional being. We try to go around numbing ourselves, which is not really healing. We go around with all the anger, the sadness, the regret, the guilt, and that's not healing either. Healing means love. Healing means loving even the unlovable. Like I say, there is a part of you that you hate, which you have hated when you've seen it from your parents. Or maybe, like I say, at times we bond, we pick up whatever that was done, even though we saw that it was not functional. We didn't like it, but then we just adapt to it because we want to bond to our parents, whether it's your mother or your father. You can imagine if you have a father who is always angry and he's in and out, going to work and all that. For you, this is the kind of masculine that you are learning, that for me to be a man, I have to show up, go in and out, and come home as this toxic parent. And at times, some of the things, what is painful, I'm not saying from judgment. I'm talking about something that I've seen, and I've seen it even with me, where I was trying so hard to really hold it together and stay, so that I can also be that woman who gotten married and all. Now I just want to, even though my mom is not here, there is a part of me that wants to make her proud. You understand? You want to make her proud, even though she's not here, to say my child got married, and she got married forever and all that. And that's not me. That's not something that is making me happy. I will be doing it sacrificing my own happiness. Not necessarily that is what I want to do. I will be doing it to give my mom something, to look for that appreciation, because it's something that I craved for a long time. It doesn't matter whether it's just dressing up. I know at times I'll go to a shop and I'll look for a skirt, and I did it, and I find something that I like, but just because it's a skirt, I'll just wear it and I'll come and, oh, mom, do you see this? Like, turning around, and she's like, yeah, but why do you buy this kind of, still I get that criticism. So a part of me did what it did, not really doing what I love to do, just wanting to satisfy someone. Even when she was gone, there's a part of me that wanted to satisfy her. And this is what we do. You copy, or you take whatever that you've seen happening, no matter how much you hated it. That's the only version that you saw as a man or as a woman. When you talk about being obedient, I've heard this. If you want to be married, you better be obedient. Many people told me that before. If you're going to keep on sticking by your own opinion, you're going to be an old woman who is going to be miserable. And I said, I'm looking forward to that. because I am not willing to give up on myself. And the time when I found myself grieving in many relationships, I was grieving. I was in a relationship with someone, but there was no relationship. You understand? I could not be me. I could not show up as me. I could not be happy when I want to be happy. I had to adjust my emotions to feel whatever that was happening. And I realized that if foreverness, if greatness, if putting a family surname, however, so that you are praised and all that comes with this price, I am not willing to pay that price until my higher self came through and say, yes, you are not here to come and conform. You are here to show people a new way of being. You are here. You chose that family knowing that it is how it is, whether it's dysfunctional or whatever, because at times when you talk about traumatic, we think it's in a situation where there is only violence and all that, but there is a lot that is happening emotionally and all that. You can be with someone in a relationship and still be grieving. And that's what I felt as well, where in many instances I was with someone, but then I was grieving. I was grieving the loss of this person not really seeing me, but most of all, me not seeing myself. And now you can imagine where you go to work to run from your own family, to run from yourself, basically, because that's what you're doing. And we think, or we have this illusion that I just want peace. That's not peace. You know, if you created peace, if you did your work, right now you will be so relaxed at home. You will be smiling and say, now I have the best time to be with my family, to love on them and love on myself. But the reason why you are miserable is because you have been miserable with yourself all along. This situation that is happening right now is not bringing any misery into your life. It's the misery that has been hidden. But now you have this gift where it's presented to you to say, how do you choose to go on with your life? I'm sharing with you what I'm sharing with you because I know a lot of people are suffering. I know there's a lot of things that we do not even talk about, that we do not admit or acknowledge. But you cannot heal that which you don't want to acknowledge. You cannot. And at times we have, because we judge ourselves so bad, we beat ourselves so much, we live in shame so badly that we do not even want to raise our hand and say, please help me out here. Because you think that someone is going to judge you. And I'm sharing my story to tell you that I have been there. I lived that life. I know how it feels like to not talk about not to be authentic, not to also be vulnerable, because we are afraid we're going to be rejected when we show up as ourselves. I know how it is. I know the outcome. And if you choose to live that life, if you choose to take that which is your past and your past experiences into this new timeline that we are shifting into, know that you've made that choice deliberately. Let go of blaming other people. I want you to take full responsibility of it and say, I had an opportunity where the universe presented everything in my arm and say, here you are. Do you really want to continue living like this? Do you really want to continue seeking appreciation from the people who are not living your life anymore? Because if you care about what the society is going to say, then you're going to be that. And at times we fool ourselves that, oh, I don't care about what they're doing. And all I'm asking is look at the decisions that you are making. I want you to be with yourself, because you are the only person who stays up at night. No one won't be there. It will be dark. And maybe your partner will be sleeping because they are satisfied, they are showing up fully for themselves. They will be sleeping. And you're going to be turning around or sitting up. And tomorrow it's another day, it's the same thing. And you wonder secretly, is this the life that I really choose to live? Where you've got fear every time. I can imagine every time when you have to go home, your heart starts beating, you start having this heart palpitations, and you go take some medication to numb yourself even more because you don't want to feel. I've been even in a relationship where my partner at some point was not available. And he was not doing it deliberately. He just didn't know how to face his own painful memories. But the only way was to run away from that and drink. And then come back and like, oh, now I'm here. Can we work on those issues? Can we look at that, no matter how messy it is, and say, I am not willing to give you the power to rule my life forever? Can you sit down and have a conversation? If you cannot, if at all your shame is too much, if at all there is something that you don't even know where it's coming from, is there, are you willing to raise your hand and ask someone, could you please help me look into this? How can I go around this? This is why I'm showing up. I don't want to tell the whole world my story, but I know how painful it was when I was living that life. I know. And I know how it is when I choose to show up for myself. I know how it is when I say I love myself, because I am not willing to shrink no matter how bad my past is. I am willing to own it and say, hey, this is what happened. This is what I experienced. And I'm stepping on it. The question is, are you willing to look at this and know that I am not only the light, I am that darkness as well? Are you willing to embrace all of me, because I am done running away from all that is? I am not just beautiful. I have my own ugly sides. You understand? That's what you call self-love. Self-love is willing to look at something that is happening and say, I am not willing to live this life for the rest of my life. I am choosing to be out of this situation because I love you so much. Self-love is not choosing to be angry and sad and hate because we feel that when you let someone go, you are losing the love. The truth of it all, the pain that we feel as humans, is the denial of love. We are denying our self-love. This is why most people are in pain. Because we learned that when something is not staying forever, then the love is gone. But no, you can love someone from a distance. That's why at times you have to be with someone and tell them, this is the kind of person that I am. This is how I'm choosing to live my life. I am willing to tell you how I feel, even though you don't want to listen. The question is, are you willing to come and sit here so that we can solve this problem, or you want to run away and spend hours at work pretending to be making money, yet you don't even have time to enjoy that money. And the last thing, you are lying in bed with regret. You've missed living, because living is really creating experiences. You know, I talk about some criticism that I've had with my mom and all that. But one thing that I can tell you is this, because she could say whatever she wanted to say, and she was not saying it because she hated me so much. The only part that she could not accept was an aspect of her that she denied to have that freedom. So when she saw me coming up as a child and say, I'm going to be me, and I don't care how other people are going to react, I don't care what people would say, it was like, oh my God, is that even possible? You have to be like this, because she has been taught, she has been programmed, she has been conditioned to be a certain way. She didn't know how to cherish, acknowledge, and appreciate that aspect of her that truly wants to be freedom, that which we are as souls. She didn't know how to be that. But now I look back at the same time and I miss her. And the memories that I have at the same time is that of the criticism, the things that she used to say, how she would openly say that. And me is that stubborn rebel child that she called me. I would also show up and just tell her that, I know you don't like my clothes, but I don't like your clothes as well. I won't even wear them. And I'll just say it from that childish, I don't care attitude. And we laugh about it, you know, even though still deep within I was hurting and I wanted more appreciation. But now that she's not here, these are the things that the memories that we created, the experiences that we created at the same time. So why am I telling you this? I'm just saying, sometimes you have to do the work. Sometimes you have to say things that you know that people are not going to fully appreciate with their two hands. At the end of the day, we have chosen here, whether it's as family, as partners, whatever, we have chosen each other so that we can serve each other. Truly being of service is truly being of service to yourself and showing that aspect, because you have chosen each other knowing that you are coming with your own uniqueness, and therefore when you bring it together and just lay it on the table, it's going to serve all of us. Isn't that an amazing way of being rather than hiding and trying to be so nice? I want peace. Self-love is getting your hands dirty and talking. Self-love is fully experiencing who you are. If you want to cry, let it out. If you want to laugh, so be it. Why would you wait for everyone to be joyful while you feel the joy? Why would you adjust your energy to everyone and say, how is everyone doing? I've done that for a long time. And this is why I'm telling you that I am done with wanting to fit how other people are feeling. I'm coming into a room and I'm like, even, oh, they are not with this energy. I am willing to show up as that. And I'm coming with you right now because everyone is interested in the whole coronavirus situation. And I'm saying that's not the only issue. It's this whole virus is showing up, but there is other things that have been with us for a long time. Are you willing to look at that as well? Are you willing to choose right now to say, from now onwards, tomorrow when this thing is over, this is what I want to look at and say, this changed my life. This is the gift that I got from it. Are you willing to be excited and say, I cannot wait for this to be over because it has given me my freedom? As a health relationship intuitive coach, I help my clients to gain freedom. And freedom, I'm not talking just freedom of just speaking from anger like I used to do from a defensive part. Freedom means being able to voice your opinion relaxed, knowing that you don't have to rush your words so quickly because someone might say something. It means stopping someone and say, I'm not done with what I wanted to say. It means loving someone and being with them. It means loving someone and letting them go and still choose to love them and let that heart break, as we call it. Because indeed, what is happening is the walls that we have built. It's just the walls that are breaking. And what is remaining is just that unconditional love, that which we have denied ourselves for a long time. That is freedom. Freedom is being and saving your yourself first. When you are authentic, vulnerable, taking full responsibility, knowing that if you choose to change something, so will it be. So knowing that whatever decision that you make, like right now, I'm showing up, talking to you, if you choose not to listen to what I'm saying, you have made that choice because you are okay with an outcome that you are getting. Even though I'm saying that, yes, that outcome exists. I got it, and I got it so many times because I'm one of the stubborn person ever. But I know how it is on the other side. The only difference with that where you are at and where I am at is the outcome. That's why I'm saying, feel what you're feeling, and still, are you willing to just feel how the other one feels a little bit? Just taste it. Or just imagine it, because this is where we start creating with our imagination, visualization. How would it be like to come home and just take that deep breath? And your partner comes and it's like, how was your day, babes, or whatever, and your children are just coming through and you are willing to share yourself. It's not like when you come like, I've had a bad day. No, even if you had a bad day, it's like, oh, my day was really bad. Oh, what can I do to make your day better? Coming from that, oh, we are in this thing, we're given an opportunity to be with each other. What an amazing opportunity. And even when we are staying together because we are not used to be together in the same room for such a long time, someone can say, you know what, I'm just fed up. I need a little bit of my time. Can you just be there with the children? Can I have this room for myself, with this space for myself? But not instead of I cannot do anything because I just have to sit here and let whatever that is happening just happen without you having demanding your space, because we are human beings. We have this all unique interest, desires, and all that. And at times the time when the other one wants to play music, you don't want to do that. Are you willing to not run away, but rather to sit and say, babes, today I don't feel like this kind of music. I just want just that quietness, because we know, this moment when it's just quiet, that silence is also one of the beautiful times when you can feel your heart beating and you can hear something that you don't normally hear when it's all noisy. And this is why being authentic is important, because you can share that without any fear. So I help people gain freedom and break the unseen chains of codependence, because we are dependent in so many things that we have bought in, so many things that have been sold to us. We think that is the only thing that exists. So we break those chains because you don't see them. But if you cannot breathe, you always come home and it's like, oh my God, I can't breathe. When you are not breathing, you are in that situation. Like I said, you'll be the one who is turning over or staying up awake. Tomorrow in the morning, you are tired, but yet you've been in bed since 8 o'clock. I mean, really, is that really life? I don't think so. I don't think so. Living in fear because they might not leave me. They might leave me, or they don't love me enough just because you don't love yourself enough. Give yourself an opportunity. And like I said, if you want to have a conversation with me, I have this free course that I'm offering. And it's the best one that you could have. And at times you can just get a breakthrough from that. So if you want to have a conversation, book a call and let's have a conversation. I'm sharing with you with love because I want you to benefit from this opportunity. Give yourself permission to be yourself, to feel your emotions. Positivity is not only the laughter and, oh, I'm just joyful and all that. Actually, the whole positive and negative thing also is just an illusion. I just believe in being yourself. If you feel like something wants to come up, whether it's that anger, feel it, do something. Do you have functional ways of expressing that anger, or the only way that you do is go and shout at everyone like I used to do, and then from there you go through that spiral of feeling guilt, or why did I do that, calling yourself stupid, shame, whatever. It's not healthy. But when you feel that anger and you just like, you know what, I'm flipping angry right now. Or even at times, I mean, there's so many ways of doing it, expressing it. And at times we hold into this thing that, oh, when I'm positive is when I'm just seeing everyone as an angel. We are angels. We are warriors. We are goddesses. Come on. We don't have to hide our emotions because maybe we'll lose this goddesses. It's who we are. It's in us. It's in our DNA. But when we are still walking this earth, there is nothing wrong with seeing someone treat you like hell, and you say this person is this is just bullshit. If it's bullshit, so it is. Why do you want to say no? It wasn't just nice, This is just how, at times, and then you start getting depressed because you are not able to express your emotions. And imagine now when you do the work and you heal those the core issues from that little inner child who felt certain things. When you let go of that, when you heal that and you dissolve that, then the real you comes through. You are able to say what you, even at work, because there's a lot of things that is happening too regarding careers. Maybe you are in that fear and all that, but whatever that you are feeling, whatever that you are thinking of, that is what you are calling forth. What is it? This is why I'm saying we have to do the work. But first, then start acknowledging how you are feeling and then ask for help. And I'm one of those people because I know what my work can do. I can't speak for other people because I'm not talking about therapists where you sit and you talk about some issues just from the head and all. I'm talking about going beyond things that they are not in your conscious mind, your subconscious issues, because our body holds these things. Our subconscious remembers, our soul remembers. At times you don't know why you are doing certain things. Maybe something happened, molestation, sexual abuse, whatever, or you've seen a lot by the time you started growing up, when your parents tried to just show you that, oh, we are this peaceful one. There has been a lot of violence that happened, and you started creating these templates from when you were in the womb. You knew how it is. You felt you've taken it all. You've made it what life is all about, and you are living that. And you are surprised why your partners are beating you. Why are they criticizing me? Why is this thing happening? You've seen it happening. You felt the energy, and you have believed that is life. You have created your life from this template. And this is the template that we also cannot ignore. You can go ahead and affirm and affirm and affirm, but it's going to be a very long road it's going to be a long journey, I'm telling you. Even at times there are some people who choose not to express how they're feeling, but they feel like I say, they feel like, I wrote about my friend who we're just discussing about his partner doing things the way she was doing them, and instead of talking about these things and expressing his opinion, he chose to just be at work and all that. And eventually, when you come home, things are even more in a worse state than they were before. Why? Because when you are running somewhere to a bar, when you are running to a club, when you are running to meet with your other friends or whatever, the problem is not solving itself. Still wait here. It's gonna come. We're gonna talk about this. And eventually someone goes ahead now with that pain, with that energy, and we go and pass it on. Our children are seeing it, they're taking it on. That was my conversation with you for today on this beautiful Friday. And I believe you had the best clubbing, whatever, hanging out with. This is the best that I can offer for you. And it's the best gift that I can give you, because the best thing that you can get from here is choosing to be authentic, choosing to take responsibility for where you are at, because nothing is really personal. Whatever that you are going through is not happening because someone they have you as a target. No, they're just expressing however that they have learned, whether it's that anger, whether it's that violence, whether it's that they're just expressing that from the best thing that they've learned about themselves. And if you choose to follow along and attach from that, I'm coming from this painful thing and that coming from this, and we're gonna attach in pain, and you stay there and think that's love, even though it's painful, then know that you've chosen that. You have chosen that. And I respect that for you. But if you say this is gonna end with me, I am ending this. I don't care the life that my parents lived or my grandparents. I'm choosing to create a new. I'm choosing to create a new way of being. I still respect you, because I can tell you about both sides. The difference is the outcome. I love you. I love you. I love you. And thank you, amazing ones, to be with me. Thank you. Thank you, Star Angel, Kenny. I love you. And everyone who's watching in the background who hasn't said anything, I love you. Just know that I love you. And I'm sharing with you because I want to offer my services. I want to offer you what has helped me to fully be me and say, I deserve to be here. I've done the work. Why wouldn't I be happy with where I come from? You know? And you can also be where I am. And you deserve it. Of course you do. Don't cross the timeline with your past. Choose to let how you've been living life end now and choose a new way of being. I love you guys, and I'll leave you with that. Thank you, my brother Demond. I'm done. And Kenny, love you all. Love you all. We'll talk soon.